I mean, this just could be based on a faulty intuition about ballistics, but I'm surprised that a rifle round making any degree of contact with an ear wouldn't do more damage. I think a shattered piece of shrapnel from a teleprompter is far more likely to have done that to his ear than a rifle round.
That's so silly.
In this video, Bill Maher welcomes Sam Harris onto his Club Random podcast. Sam Harris may have even more TDS than Bill Maher, which sounds crazy, I know, but Sam Harris minimizes the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. With that, even though he'd prefer not to, Bill Maher has to school Sam Harris on his delusion.
Well, there's one thing I am skeptical about.
Come on.
I haven't said anything about this. I'll give it to you. This just could be based on a faulty intuition about ballistics, but I'm surprised that a rifle round making any degree of contact with an ear wouldn't do more damage. I think a shattered piece of shrapnel from a teleprompter is far more likely to have done that to his ear than a rifle round.
That's so silly.
Well, have you seen what rifle rounds do to human bodies?
I know, but like, if it just hit it by the slightest possible degree, it just, it makes much more sense. The guy behind
Well, no, but I do, no, there's no question there were rifle rounds flying. I mean, someone was killed. I'm not debating that at all, but if in fact a teleprompter was hit by the rifle round and we know there was shattered glass, that makes more sense to me.
Oh, that he didn't get hit at all. It was the teleprompter.
He got hit by flying glass as opposed to a rifle round.
That doesn't change the basic narration.
No, zero change.
No, I completely agree that it could be that McLovin just missed him completely.
McLovin?
That's what I call him. And shot the other guy. And he got hit by
Yes, no, that does not take anything away from him having survived a legit assassination attempt.
Right.
I'm not disputing that.
And by the way, thank God he did. Not just because even for people we don't like, we should not wish their death, but it's a bad place for your mind to be, I think. But also because the country would just have gone nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be in the middle of a civil war now.
Well, so I think we sort of.
I actually don't think we would have been in the middle of a civil war. The only way there would have been a civil war is if the left started it for some reason, because they're the party of violence. But I think some stuff would have gone down that maybe conservatives weren't very proud of. But I don't think we'd be in a civil war. I think as long as the Republicans put up a decent candidate, the Republicans still would have won the presidency, because had the worst happened in that situation, it would have made the left look like complete a-holes. And no matter how hard they tried to spin it, they wouldn't have been able to talk their ways out of this one. That would have been a stain on them for a long time. But I'm belaboring this too much. I'm actually embarrassed. That's about the worst thing I can imagine happening. But I don't know if you guys have seen Sam Harris talk about Trump in the past, but I honestly feel comfortable saying I think if the worst did happen that day when they attacked the president, if he was gone, I think Sam Harris would be happy. I've heard him say in other interviews, basically Trump is such a threat that he doesn't care what has to happen. He can't be in power. I mean, that's not verbatim, but I'm quite certain I heard him say that. So I think he was trying to get Bill on board with his ridiculous teleprompter story. But even bringing that up shows how Trump deranged he is. He was trying to get Bill to buy into, Donald Trump didn't even really get hit in the ear by a bullet. That shows like something that serious that even Bill Maher's not joking about, that Sam Harris wanted to find some way to minimize even that, because he hates Donald Trump so much. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Sort of nodded toward this truth, but I'll just make it explicit. I do think that one of the silver linings of him having won this election and having won it decisively is that it has discharged all of that pent-up rage and conspiracy thinking. I mean, like, so in Trumpistan,
is it?
Well, they've gotten everything.
Yeah.
Right. So now they've got 4 years.
No, they believe in elections again.
Yeah. So like our election system works, right? Apparently, and the elites couldn't keep the man down.
But again,
and there's no conspiracy. The Jews didn't do the thing that we're worried about.
But, you know, again, and I don't think you're going to disagree with this, we didn't cure the cancer. We just pushed it further into tissue.
Well, but I think it's different. But the counterfactual is scary. I mean, so a Harris administration with all of these right-wing QAnon-addled nutcases thinking that the fix was in and elections don't mean anything, and like, all of that's bad from my point of view. So the fact that half of the electorate is that crazy is, I do think they've been mollified, and then now they get to see what it's like to govern with all of the tech bros they love, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't know what will happen with that. I do know what will happen with the next election, which is why, as much as we're living in a wonderful time now, where America's...
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
...is great again. Whatever the next election is, if the Democrat wins it, they're just going to be ever more suspicious, and it's just going to be we're putting off this day where something has to give with the people who don't believe in elections unless we win them.
No, but
that's an intolerable.
Why would you say that if this time we, the mustache twirling plutocrats, couldn't fix the election?
You're thinking too.
Elections works.
You're thinking so logically. That's Sam. This is not how
he
they
won
think.
everything. He ran the table.
Yes, because there was no cheating. But if he had lost, there would have been cheating.
No,
you have it backwards.
Absolutely, but we've proven that you could have a fair election in the year 2024.
You're living in the world where you're encountering people like you,
right?
And that's not the.
So if you're suspicious that Donald Trump was cheated out of an election, then according to Sam Harris, you're a QAnon right-wing nutcase. It is crazy if you think about it. I mean, what is there to be suspicious about in the 2020 election? Really. I mean, it's so plausible that Joe Biden got 81 million votes, and that's the most votes of any presidential candidate ever. It's an anomaly when you look at the vote counts and the trends of all other presidential elections. Hunter Biden's laptop, ballot harvesting, us seeing videos of people stealing ballots. Yeah, we're just crazy conspiracy theorists, aren't we? Anyway, let's wrap it up.
The world we live in.
All right. Well,
that's not.
I'm a bad judge of character.
You are. That is not going to happen. What's going to happen is the next time a Democrat wins, there's going to be
it was rigged. Yeah,
a fucking shitstorm, and I don't know how that ends. And it depends also on who is in positions of power that are being put there now. I mean, I did an editorial once about power begets power. The more power you have, the more power you get. So now
what are you worried about, and what are you agnostic about, and what are you hopeful about?
I'm worried about that.
Isn't it funny how our conspiracies always end up being right? Like, I don't know, Biden's mental decline, which wasn't even a conspiracy theory. We were just told by every single Democrat every day that Joe Biden was the most energetic human being on earth and could run a triathlon. But we want to hear from you. What did you guys think about this conversation between Bill Maher and Sam Harris? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.